Hello, I'm Simon Dean, the project lead on Folktale. Thanks for joining us today for a look at what you can expect when we launch on Steam Early Access, and our plans for how we'll be bringing you updates over the coming months. Folktale's still in development, so it's got its fair share of bugs, and not all features and content has been added yet. But with everything we've got planned, we hope you can join us for developing what promises to be an awesome game. Folktale is a fantasy city building strategy game with RPG and adventure elements. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know, so what do I mean by that? Well, primarily the game is centred around you taking a group of peasants who have set out on a journey to start a new life. You'll do everything you might expect from a game of this type, collecting and competing for resources, establishing a small community and growing it into a thriving market town complete with detailed economy. And if you choose to, participating in the lives of your townsfolk as they become drawn into stories of intrigue. Stories may be based around towns, such as feuding guilds or the theft of a family heirloom, or involve you leading parties of adventurers into the wilds and deep into dungeons to pursue fame and fortune in the name of your kingdom. Community is very important to the Folktale team, and having asked your opinion on which gameplay mode you'd prefer, following launch we'll be focusing all our efforts on making Folktale a sandbox game. But more about this later. For now, let's dive into the tutorial mini-campaign.
For months, your people have struggled through swamps and forests, across deserts and frozen wastes, battling storms and high seas that threaten to dash them against the...
Our story starts with Bernard, our unlikely hero, and his simple fellows arriving on a remote island where they will begin their new lives. Being Folktale, it won't be long until things take a turn for the worse, but for now, let's meet Bernard and get our settlement started with the help of our village advisor.
To only the select few, and the good people eat only stale bread. Your brave subjects have fought and suffered before arriving on the shores of this remote island. It is here they hope to find peace and tranquility, where they can farm and build a new... Oh look, there's Bernard. Hello. Where was I? Oh yes, to a land where your people can build a new society where freedom and toast are available to everyone. And it is up to you, our steely-eyed leader, to build a brighter future for your brave pioneers. Because let's face it, the villagers aren't the sharpest swords in the rack. This is the world of Folktale.
One of the first things you'll notice about Folktale is that you can take direct control of your subjects. Most of the time they'll do what you expect without you needing to ask, freeing you from micromanagement to focus on the bigger decisions. But there are times when you need greater control, for example when leading a party into the wilds, helping villagers advance their storylines, or issuing a call to arms when your town comes under attack. In playing a configurable sandbox game, you'll get to enjoy Folktale in a manner and pace that best suits you. You might be wondering why we have fixed position building plots. That's an old constraint that in time we plan to remove with the release of a map editor, giving you the freedom of control in town planning. It's time to train one of our peasants in an occupation. Each economic building can support a maximum of 5 specialists. In this case, we'll train a farmer who'll set to work sowing fields and harvesting wheat to mill into flour at the windmill, before carrying the sacks to the storehouse where it can be sold or used to make other goods. We've added plenty of detail to villagers, including a full inventory and stats system. Here, our farmer carries seeds that he plants. Harvesting will add a bushel of wheat to the farmer's inventory, and with the millstone unoccupied, he'll take a bundle of bushels from the store and mill them into sacks of flour. Jumping forward, we need to build an iron smelt and train a miner. We've made navigating easy, including a clickable minimap showing quest locations, and a useful zoom feature next to each quest part. Wood, stone and iron require sources of resource and can be found around the map. With limited supply, once you've depleted sources close to your town, you'll not only need to explore and find new sources, you'll need to capture and protect them from raiders. Looks like a band of cobalt scavengers has moved into the iron mine close to our village. We'll need to clear them out before our miners can extract the ore. Let's swap camera modes from overhead strategy cam to the first person camera, allowing us to join in the action as it happens. Each character has a set of 5 skills that can be unlocked and improved as they level in that occupation. In desperate times you might need to draft in workers to fill out the ranks of the city guard by reassigning their occupation, but don't worry, once your farmers have finished their assignments in the guard, they can resume their careers in farming from where they left off. Our knight has combat related skills for crowd control and leadership, as well as a useful ability to stun an opponent with his shield. We can customise our knight with loot items. Let's give him a sword, magic ring and gladiator's helm to give him a better chance in combat. In Folktale, gear and skills are important and improve a character's attributes including damage. We thought it made little sense that a naked person with no equipment should have more health and potentially inflict more damage than a huge ogre in a fist fight. Exploration and dungeon raiding can really help your survival in the long run, as well as providing useful ingredients by transmuting unwanted items for use in crafting, a feature we'll be adding in a future update. Let's take our knight and a few mean looking peasants to tackle the kobolds. We'll use the knight's taunt ability to draw one of the kobolds off the weaker peasants, and then use shield bash to stun him before delivering a finishing blow. Skipping forward once again, our village is starting to grow and we need to start thinking about addressing the needs of our villagers. Our peasants need to eat, sleep, pray and have fun to live happy lives. Fail to meet those needs and you'll soon have rebellious troublemakers on the loose, or a declining population as villagers abandon the new life and return home on regular ships that dock at the harbour. Before villagers can pray, we need a monastery. Monasteries perform multiple roles. They train monks as our healer class and keep bees to brew honey mead for sale in the tavern. The monastery offers beds for the night for a small donation and a place to pray to the Holy Toast. We designed the tutorial to introduce you to game lore as well as major gameplay features. I don't want to spoil the experience, so we'll skip forward to later in the tutorial for a sneak peek at look at some of the locations you'll be exploring. Here, the wizard Camfrey Mageflower has joined our party and is about to sense something untoward. Part of adventuring in Folktale involves solving puzzles and avoiding traps. In a future update we'll be adding the Thieves Guild, where you can train rogues to join your party to help out in such situations. But for now, let's use Camfrey's Detect Traps spell, but instead of disarming it, let's go ahead and trigger it. Throughout development we'll be adding fiendish traps for you to detect and disarm. The more cunning the trap, the more skilled your party will have to be to detect them. So what's next in development? Well, the community voted strongly in favour of Folktale becoming a sandbox game, so that's what we'll be focusing on. We'll be creating a new map editor to provide you with the tools for designing your own dungeons, and expanding this in time to include exterior locations and maps. The list of buildings and occupations will be greatly expanded. In the tutorial we've limited these to not overcomplicate the experience. In sandbox mode, you'll be growing a simple village into a large market town, complete with city walls, paved streets and interesting stories to pursue. Militarily, we plan to add a variety of units including archers, crossbowmen, mounted knights, bards and thieves, as well as specialist heroes that you'll meet along the way with their own unique traits. Each unit will fill a specific strategic role and be balanced so that it can be countered by another. For example, a mounted goblin warrior is best defended with the long polearm of the human militia. Gameplay wise, we've got a lot of great ideas that we hope to add. I've mentioned on the blog about how you can choose your governing style and how decisions follow a cause and effect principle. Be a tyrant and use your city guards to oppress the population, or a liberal and gentle leader spreading happiness at the expense of rife criminality. Folktale will be a dynamic experience that evolves based on your decisions. We hope you like what we've shown today, and you'll consider joining us for the journey by buying a copy on Steam Early Access. As ever, we welcome your ideas and feedback throughout development, and with your support, together we can make Folktale a truly awesome game. On behalf of us all here on the Folktale team, thanks for watching.